Hey everybody, Josie here. I just wanted to get on here and create a video. I've been having a lot of the same questions, and as I see clients, it's been kind of a common theme. I think, I obviously have a passion for women's health, but cycle syncing has been one of the most important tools that I have learned for my own health and for the health of the clients that I'm seeing. So cycle syncing is about aligning nutrition, movement, work with life, and working with the 4 phases of the menstrual cycle for optimal energy, mood, and productivity. Now, obviously, all those words are great, especially us moms can probably really resonate with that. So, I think historically speaking, women, we've really been taught to be pushed down. Our health is really second rate. There's really not even a lot of good studies until the last, recent maybe decade of women's health. They really have based everything off of men. Men are on a 24-hour cycle and women are on a 28-day cycle. So we're very much in sync with the moon. I'm sure that was by design, by our creator, or whoever you believe in. But there are ways that we can work with our bodies that make work easier. And I've really, really found that this is true. I have a really busy life and everyone always asks how I get it done. This is how I get it done. I really categorize my schedule to what's going on in my cycle. So we'll just kind of dive right in. The first phase is the menstrual cycle. This is obviously phase 1, day 1 through 5. So what's happening? Your estrogen and your progesterone are diving, and so they're at their lowest. Your uterine lining is shedding, and so this is your period. And so your energy is naturally lower. Usually we feel really crummy. Sometimes people have symptoms. This is when you really want to put flax seeds and pumpkin seeds into your smoothies every day, because those are going to build up the estrogen and the progesterone naturally and kind of make you feel a little bit more supported. And they also support estrogen production as you move into the follicular phase. As far as movement goes, you really want to do gentle yoga, walking, stretching, and rest. Really think about restoration and reflection. And this is important because that's what our body is. It's trying to get rid of this lining. And so we really need to go inward. And so for the work week, you're really going to want to, this is like a wintering phase. And so ideally for rest, reflection, planning, journaling, review past cycles, let intuition kind of guide what's next. This is a great time for reflecting on any projects that you have, if they've gone well, or just with what's working with your family too. I've really found that helps. During the week of my period, it really makes me kind of slow down. Which obviously those seeds are going to support you into the follicular phase, which is the next phase, this is a longer phase. This is days 16 through 14. And so obviously the estrogen begins to rise. The follicle stimulating hormone, or FSH, stimulates egg growth. And so we start our cycle all over again. And so you start feeling more energized, optimistic, brain function and creativity increases. And as far as seed cycling goes, this is where we want to continue the flax seeds and the pumpkin seeds until ovulation, because they help with a healthy estrogen metabolism. As far as movement goes, this is light cardio, dancing, strength training. So if you were a client of mine, you know what I preach: strength training. You can do those other things. They're fun. Dancing is great. But I really, for women, your currency after the age of 60 is your muscle mass. That's how you build bone density, is lifting heavy weights. And muscle is literally linked to hormone regulation, strength, of flexibility, mobility, balance, Literally all of our muscles. It's probably one of the most important organs. So we really want to make sure we're strength training. Try new workouts or challenges. This is the time where your body is primed for that. So days 6 through 14, try something new if you want. Also, this is like the spring phase. So best for brainstorming as far as work schedule goes, vision casting, creativity. Great time to start new projects, plan content, and dream big. This one is usually really fun because you have the energy to do that. Whereas if you're trying to make a new project happen during the menstrual phase, it's just not going to happen. You don't have the energy, you don't have the mental capacity, we forget things. So we really need to learn how to work with our hormones. Okay, so the next part of that phase, which is a really short part, is the ovulation. And I'm sure all of us know this is a great phase in which you can get pregnant, ovulation. And so peak estrogen and surge in the luteinizing hormone, which is going to trigger a release for the egg. And then libido is super high, communication, social ability, and enhancement. So this is your libido is higher. So you're gonna, naturally our bodies are made to want to search out to have sex to create the baby. Seed cycling. This is when you switch over to sunflower seeds and sesame seeds in your smoothies. This supports progesterone levels for the second half of the cycle and is really going to help that progesterone. And this is actually one of the reasons you feel so good. Progesterone is our happy hormone for mamas. It's what gives us the calm and the feel good. It's actually why little babies, oxytocin too, but progesterone is a major one for moms. And so sunflowers and sesame seeds are really good for that. Movement. This is a great time to do HIIT workouts or sprints, group classes, intense workouts. Your energy is peaking, so you got to use it. Good time for PRs. This is technically for your work flow. This is, or work week. This is summer phase. So best for collaborating, meetings, content creation. You're really going to want to network. You can go be social and talk to people. Podcasts, record videos, and then show up live, do events. So that is ovulation. The fourth phase is the luteal phase. This is day 17 to 28-ish. Now, obviously, if you're going through perimenopause, these phases shorten. And this is one of the reasons why it's really important to track your period, is so that you catch that. Because honestly, you might not even have symptoms, but your period might start to shorten long before you start to have symptoms for perimenopause. But 4 is luteal phase. This is where progesterone rises to prepare for pregnancy. So estrogen dips slightly, and then both drop if there's no pregnancy. And so PMS symptoms, this is like your premenstrual, cramps, cravings, all the things. So it's important for you to increase your sesame and sunflower seeds in your smoothies. Again, that's going to help with the progesterone, because that's what is making us feel kind of crappy, because it left the house so you could have your period. Movement is going to be strength training and Pilates or yoga. So really treating the body kindly. Toward the end, focus on rest, stretching, and stress reduction. Okay, stress reduction. I know everybody kind of laughs at that, but literally it is the most important thing. As I have gone on my journey, I have really found that learning how to regulate my nervous system has so much to do with how you regulate all the hormones and everything in your body. And so really having tools in your belt to be able to regulate that. I can give you so many examples. I was just at the park the other day, and I had a mom who was screaming at me I don't even honestly know. I shouldn't say screaming. She was voicing her concern that my kid cut her kid on the playground, but there's 20 other kids around. And normally my nervous system, even 5 years ago would have been reactive and defensive. Whereas when you really put the work in to do the nervous system, to train your nervous system to be calm, because we don't need to be in fight or flight. That's what gives us the cancer risks and all of the hormone dysregulation. And so it was interesting because I've done so much work on this. I didn't even have a reaction. I was just like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry. And the lady was like, well, are you going to move her? And I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going to rip my kid off the playground so that your kid can feel better. And I didn't, that's it. I was just done. And then I moved on. And before that would have, I would have had a reaction because it upset me. But that's why it's important to have nervous system reactions or regulations, because when we have reactions, it literally causes a chemical reaction behind the scenes that we don't see happening that thinks a tiger is coming at you. And so your body clamps down and goes into stress mode. Now we live in a society that's like, it's very patriarchal, like run, go, hustle culture. That is actually not sustainable for our bodies. We're not meant to be going like that. So find some way to get stress reduction. As far as work week goes, this is the luteal phase is good for finishing tasks, organizing, and editing, tying up loose ends, evaluate, and prepping for the next cycle. And so, the cycle syncing honors your natural hormone rhythm, and which affects energy levels, cognition and focus, emotional states, metabolism and hunger, and motivation for movement and stabilization. That's not all, but that's the most of it. When you eat, move, and work in sync with your biology, you reduce burnout, you boost creativity and productivity, you experience fewer PMS symptoms, and cultivate a deeper connection with your body. And so I invite you guys to follow me on my Instagram, EvansJ34. I am at Little Shell Holistic Coaching. I am hopefully going to be posting more of these videos to come. But please give me a like and follow me on social and reach out if you have any questions. Thank you. Have a good day.